Kerry Gordy.
What's that?
In the studio. First of all, let me say what a blessing it is, my brother, to be in the same space. People, I think, I'm serious, man. I'm serious, KG. I think people don't really, I was thinking about this when I was coming over. Like, so your family and your father and mother, basically, when you talk about music in America, you know, one of the most influential figures in the history of America, when you talk about music, especially if you're talking about pop music, you know, your father basically, in a sense, invented pop music, you know, from a standpoint of a system where you create a sound that then became, you know, the Motown sound. Mm-hmm. And so here you are, somebody who's been inside the machine. You have forgotten more iconic, in-depth, historic moments than most people will ever experience in their life. You've forgotten them.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, first of all, that's all flattering, and it's a blessing. I had the ability, first of all, I could talk about this for 5 hours. This is not a, you know, a 20 minute conversation. But the fact is that I had the ability to grow up in this kingdom called Motown. Right? Motown started the year I was born, and by the time I was 4 years old, we hit with the Supremes, and from that day on, you know, it was a kingdom. And so, you know, growing up around Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Lionel Richie, Rick James, the whole thing, right? It was incredible because as a youngster, I got to understand things that other people didn't get to that didn't get to see. The first thing is, as a very young age, I realized that it's not about fame and fortune. Fame and fortune is something that a lot of people aspire to have, but they don't understand all of the consequences involved of fame and fortune. I was very privileged because the world looked up to these people, which was Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, so forth, right? But those people looked up to our family because they were all the children, or call it the second family of my father. He had a biological family, then he had a creative family. So the fact of the matter is that I was then basically a prince in this kingdom of Motown. But through that, when I would see people say, oh, this artist is amazing, they're great, and they're this and that, and I would be like, that artist is ridiculous. He's a drug addict, he's this, he beats his wife, he does whatever it is that I knew. Yes. I would say, why would people look up to that? Right? Because they didn't know the insight. And then I realized, whoa, it's not about the fame, and it's not about the money. It's about the person you are. And the bottom line is, early on in life, I came to the conclusion that health and happiness were the only two things that were important. And then everything else was either ancillary or tertiary as it may be, but it wasn't as important. Making money is a byproduct of doing something amazing and doing something great and having great people, you know, surrounding and having passion about what it is that you're doing. So to that end, I got a kind of a bird's eye view from the inside of an incredible kingdom. And it was a business. It wasn't yes, it was a family on one end, but it was a business. I mean, realistically, everybody would say, oh, you know, Barry's hoarding the money and he's doing this and he's doing this. Yes, but here's the point. He had to pay for every studio time, every person, every promotion, every marketing, every distributor, every lawyer, everything. And he had to make sure that he had the funding to be able to do that. Right? So to that end, he had to be incredibly responsible, not to mention at that time, taxes were at a 70% rate, right? Wow, yes. And so he had to deal with all of that, and he had to be perspicacious enough and smart enough to understand, okay, I have to be cool, I have to be business, and I have to be an entrepreneur. Initially, he was a writer. That did his songs for other people. He would get royalty checks at $3 and $4, and he'd say, well, wait a minute. If I'm only going to get a $3 or $4 royalty check, Smokey said to him, Barry, if you're only going to get a $3 royalty check, you might as well start the company yourself. And he was like, yeah, you might as well. The only difference is I'll pay my people, right? And so the fact of the matter is that's kind of how Motown started. My father wanting to protect his songs, and then doing the songs, he wanted to protect his records, and then doing the records, he wanted to create the publishing company, and then he wanted to protect everything, and he started as 100% creative, 0% business, or let's say 95% creative, 5% business, and then ended up at the end being 5% creative and 100% business, because now he had to protect all of his assets. So to that end,
but the thing that you pulled out of all that is the jewel, that some say it could even sound cliche, is happiness and love and joy. That's the key to life. Because you're not saying it for somebody who's seen it from a distance. You've seen it up close. Cats who have all the money in the world, have all the fame in the world.
Commit suicide.
Right, walking around sad, clinging to your dad, always blaming, oh, this ain't right, that ain't right. But so armed with that, number one, I know you got kicked out, I think, when you were 18. When did you realize that, and how long did it take you to realize that love was the answer to all questions?
I realized it before I left the house at 18.
Okay, okay.
I realized it. So it's just I read a book called Your Erroneous Zones when I was 18 years old by Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Right.
And the syllogism is, or it is, the bottom line is, nobody's opinion of me can mean more to me than my opinion of myself, right?
Come on now. Preach now. Wait a minute. Preach, preacher. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying.
That's so true. And at 18, you figured it out.
Well, yeah, because the book, Your Erroneous Zones, was about defeating all of your self-defeating behavioral patterns. And society is set up to make you believe that somebody else is responsible for your destiny. And the point is that no, you're the only person that's responsible for your destiny, and where you are today is a result of what you did yesterday. So you can change on a dime. Past does not equal the future. So to that end, just because I'm a bum today doesn't mean that I can't be a millionaire tomorrow. It's just the fact that you have to change your way of thinking, and you have to change what you did. You can't do the same thing tomorrow. You can't do the same thing today that you did yesterday and expect to get different. To get different results, right? So to that end,
at 18.
Yes. Well, yes, because I had seen it. I had seen it so much, and I would see people go through all of these things, and I would see all of these artists, going crazy. And, when you look at people like Kanye West and stuff, and you see they're going ups and downs. And the thing about it is we're entertainers. We are making people have fun. We aren't brain surgeons. Our patients don't die. If we don't get a hit, we don't get a hit. We go to the next one. But we don't have to worry about, being this brain surgeon. And no matter how good of a brain surgeon you are, some of your patients are going to die. And then you have to deal with all that grief. We don't have to deal with that. We deal with, having fun, dealing with producers, dealing with writers, doing things that people love, right? We're blessed. We're blessed to be in this business, and we're blessed to be able to do something in life that you love, as opposed to doing something because you have to pay the bills.
So KG, seeing all these people, you've seen so many successful artists, and why does it seem to be that our most tortured souls seem to be amazing artists? And that's one part of the question. The other part of the question is, have you met many amazing artists who are not tortured?
Yes.
Who are just happy and cool and fine?
Okay. Here's how I feel. I feel that all artists, if they're true artists and true to their art form, they're wired a little bit differently, right? And so to that end, there's something that an artist has to have, and I wouldn't say let's say a little shy of narcissism. Okay, right. But they have to be about me. I am trying to, change the world. I am doing this. I'm doing this. There's a level of narcissism attached to the artist. Okay, now the one thing I do know is that if a person is good when they're poor, they're going to be good when they're rich. If a person is a drug addict or negative or whatever it is when they're poor, they're going to be a worse drug addict when they're rich, because now they're going to have access. They're going to have, the ability to get the drugs or the ability to be negative. Conversely, if the person is, was it altruistic, they'll give more. They'll be there to help people. It's just the nature of who the person is from the beginning. And by the way, that person by the time they're 8 years old. You know who that person is.
See, Reverend psychologist.
I spoke at Harvard,
I know. I see Forbes. I see you.
That's right.
I'm a fan. I follow you, bro.
Okay,
I see what
good.
you're doing.
You know what?
I see what you're doing out in these streets.
Thank you for that. A lot of people don't know that background history.
And so, you work, I just saw you the documentary with the Rick James documentary. And the thing that stands out about you, man, is that your energy, your excitement. Like, I feel like you're going to be this guy when you're 100 years old. Just like your dad.
There's no question.
You know what I mean? And it was it's so refreshing because it was like you were the energy, and then it wasn't like you kind of knew his work. You like quoted like verbatim a line of the song.
Right.
And so, and again, I love the documentary because I think sometimes we have a tendency to throw people away, when you haven't thought about them for a while. But you're hearing all those great songs and you just realize it's just like song after song, this guy was different, right? But also his struggle to finally get where he wanted to get, because the talent was always there,
That's right.
but the opportunities weren't there. So give us a little bit about Rick James and a little bit about, you also work closely with Prince. Give us a little about both of those two artists. So ironically that, you work with both of them, and in the documentary, Prince was almost the young Rick James, I guess, in the wings.
Well, yeah, no question about it. I had an incredible opportunity to work with some of the greatest artists in history and to be involved with some of the greatest artists in history. So to be able to have Michael Jackson as my best friend as a child, or to be able to have managed Rick James, or to be able to have run Prince's company, Paisley Park, was just an amazing experience. And you can't imagine. I mean, I was already Berry Gordy's son, which, by the way, isn't a qualification. A lot of people think it is a qualification. It's an asset and a liability.
Oh, yeah.
The asset is that when I call people, I get a return phone call. Okay. The liability is that who wants to give Bill Gates' son some money to do what they need to do, right? Right. So the fact of the matter is,
he good.
That's right.
He good is at play all the time.
That's right. He good, right? And if I'm an entrepreneur. And by the way, entrepreneurs, they go and they're soliciting monies for their jobs and their things. So I'm no different. Everybody that I would go to would be like, well, you know what? Why don't you're looking for $5 million. Why don't you just get it from your father? That's nothing to him, right? The issue is that, first of all, $5 million is something to everybody. That's the first thing, no matter who it is, even right? Bill Gates, right? But the second thing is that when I would finally get in that room, it was really funny because the answer would be, after I'm coming in looking for, investment for whatever I'm doing, the answer would be, hey, you got money to invest in us?
Right. The switch around, right.
The switch around. That's not why I'm here, guys.
Which is going to always be a place.
Yeah, so to that end, that's why I started going by KG. Not Kerry Gordy anymore, because I think that Kerry Gordy is somewhat of a liability in a lot of circles. And this KG guy is the guy who's not Berry's son. This is the guy that does the stuff that I do. Like, for instance, I'm the king, or the Robin Hood of copyright recapture. So I recapture copyrights for people, or I do settlement agreements for people who assign their rights over early in their careers, and when they didn't have leverage. So, we did Smokey's deal, we did Rick's deal, we did Valerie Simpson's deal, and we got them millions of dollars, right? And so, but this is money that they would not have gotten And this is money that if they don't do it in a specific amount of time, they lose the opportunity. Right?
Wow.
So
wow.
I'm that. Well, it was my mother who told me that she wanted me to help anybody that was there in the beginning, before Motown, right? That was actually helpful in the building of Motown. If I could help them, and she told me this on her deathbed. That's why I'm in the copyright recapture business, and that's why I am Robin Hood.
Okay, so KG, let's talk about, you got some hot projects you're in the midst of doing. You always got stuff going on. Well, can you share with us some, in addition to, if you want to see KG on the Rick James, if you haven't checked out the documentary, it's on Showtime, check it out.
That's right. Well, we're an intellectual property company, and so to that end, we have quite a few documentaries, movies, TV coming out. We're doing things in the hospitality business.
Okay.
And
don't forget about me.
But it's all.
Don't forget about me in Dubai.
It all.
Guest of KG. Yes.
It all revolves around fun, entertainment, and positive attributes.
Let's go.
And that's what it is. So our brand is entertainment, fun, and intellectual property, and positive attributes. Right. So.
High energy.
Well, definitely high energy. And the one thing that we're working on right now, which we're really excited about, my COO, Ashley Garrett, she actually called me one day and she said, listen, I saw this girl on the internet and we're going to work with her because she's a 15-year-old girl. Well, she's 14 at the time. 14-year-old girl. We're going to work with her, and she's amazing. And I said, Ashley, come on. I don't have time to work with a brand new artist. It takes a lot of time. It's going to take X amount of time to recoup the advance. And I mean, the time and the money. And I got 100 clients here that we're working with in the copyright recapture segment. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And she said, well, if you aren't going to do it, then I will, and I'll do it without you. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. let me check her out. Let me check her out, right? This is my COO, and so I looked at Ayla's stuff, and I said, you know what? This little girl is amazing, and she's sweet. She comes from a good family, and she deserves a chance. And then Ashley said, and there's one other thing. And I said, what? She said, you've been nominated for a Grammy in the past, but you've never gotten a Grammy. I said, you're right. I said, okay, let's sign her up and let's go get our Grammy, right? So that's what we're doing. Ayla is going to be my first Grammy Award-winning artist.
Let's get this Grammy.
My personal, not the Grammy Award-winning artist we had on Motown, but I'm saying my personal.
I love it.
Right?
She's amazing, too, by the way. She's amazing.
She is.
So refreshing. Like you said, her energy is different.
She's good. She's got an old soul, but she's got values. She's got old soul with old values. Okay? So, we thought she said in one of her songs, we thought she said the word shit. And she said...
She didn't say it like that.
Yeah.
You said it. That's a grown-ass shit right there. Shit. That's some some shit.
That's right? I got some experience, right? But we thought she said that, and then we were all sitting here, the engineers and everybody, okay, now, when you say the shit word, she said, I didn't say shit. I said, what did you say? What did you say you said? This guy, I forgot what song it was, but anyway, she put two words together and it ended up sounding like that, right? But anyway, she's going to be amazing, and this was a passion project for me. I think over the next 3 years, you'll be able to see some positive stuff come out with her, and I think we're going to be together for a long time because I like her, I like her family, I like her mother. And they deserve a real shot, right? It's hard to get a shot here, right?
Well, look, with you on board, as I talked to her. So with you on board, I said you're sitting at the feet of somebody who can make it happen and somebody who knows the path so well. So KG, I know you got to go. Thank you for the time, brother. It was a pleasure. I had to come see you. My wife said, "Can you do it virtually?" I said, "No, I need to touch the hem of the garment of the brother and let him know that, man, we thank you, your family for what you've done."
So I want to thank you for doing this, but I also have to give a shout out to my boy Rob Miko. Because Miko said, "Okay, this is what you got to do with here." And Miko's been with me for like 25 years. We did Most Beautiful Girl in the World together back when I was running Princess Company. We did Daisy Dukes and whoop, there it is. So that's all I gotta say, right?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Miko, he's been part of it. I've been in his family for a while too, man. Yeah. So again, KG was
the Meekins family.
It was a blessing meeting you, my friend. Continued success.
Okay, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.
It's a wrap. Miko. That's a little wrap up. Okay. Batteries is running out. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why.
That's it.
So what's on?